everybody. 1 second here, and I'll get these out of here. Everybody, thanks for checking out my stream today. I just realized I had my music playing, but I had it muted, so it was dead there for 2 minutes. Let's see. Anthony's checking in, saying hello. Jennifer saying hi. Carrie's checking in, saying hi. Thanks, everybody, for checking out the stream this afternoon. Today is day 150. I'm so excited to be at the 5-point mark and have been doing so great. You know what? I don't have this thing up smaller, but maybe I can make it smaller or quicker so you can see me a little bit. But yeah, that photo there is, I had it up there at the beginning. That's kind of the progression from where I started to where I am now. So, you know, starting at 519.8 and working down to what I was at the last weigh in, which was 357.4. So in the 150 days, I have lost 162.4 pounds. You know, and it's been awesome. I've been feeling great, and it's really improved every aspect of my life, you know. And when I started this, and when I was talking about improving my life, I definitely was hesitant to say that it was improving every way and improving my attitude and improving my moods, because I didn't want to let go, or I didn't want to accept the idea that that I wasn't already as happy as I could be, you know. And while I was happy, and I probably was as happy as somebody who's 520 pounds could be, I'm much happier now because of where I'm at. So, so yeah, that's great to see the progression, the difference there. And then I did have that other photo up yesterday. I believe that one there I'll leave up again. So that's the difference between the first day and yesterday there. So I guess I didn't introduce myself, but if this is your first time checking out my broadcast, my name is Jonathan. I am a 38-year-old father of 4 that started letting my I let food take control over every aspect of my life for years. And it got me to a point where I just couldn't take it anymore. You know, I just couldn't keep doing it. It wouldn't be sustainable. And so that's when I started everything on November 1st of 2020. So I just did some quick math too before I got on, because the 150 days, it's great to be able to say that I've stuck to something for that long. And it's been the longest I've stuck to a diet in 8 years. And I'm really getting close to the longest I've probably ever stuck to a diet ever. I would say that 9 months would probably be the closest. So I'm over halfway, you know, at least as an adult or whatever. So the let's see, the 150. Oh yeah. So, but the whole thing, this challenge, everything has been about the fact that I've only gone on a diet for the longest time of 9 months. And the big change for me in attitude with this is that it is not a diet. This is the way I eat. It's not, you know, I mean, and it's going to take time for me to figure out, but I have to be unapologetic about saying that too when I'm in places where there is nothing for me to eat, or I have to go without, because people who have allergies wouldn't eat a food just because it was the only thing there, or people that choose to eat vegan wouldn't eat something that had meat in it just because it was what was there at the time, you know. Yeah. And so so that's been kind of a big change mentally for me, is to be like, I'm eating whole food, plant-based. It's not that's my diet. That's what I eat, you're an omnivore, you're an herbivore, I eat whole food, vegetarian, paleo, Mediterranean. I eat whole food, plant based, and uh, it's weird to say that too because it's not what my plan was 5 months ago to be sitting in front of the camera saying that I'm going to eat a whole food plant based diet the rest of my life. And unless something comes out, and because I know I can eat meat and I can eat animal products and I'll survive. People do it every day, every second. And so if something were to come out to change my mind or compel me the other way, then maybe, but the way I feel now, I just don't have any desire to go any other direction. And so, but the big thing is that I'm going to stick to this for 3 years. It's not 6 months, it's not 9 months, it's 3 years. And that's 1,095 days. And that means I'm 13.7% of the way through. So, uh, you know, I'm over 10% of the way through, which is cool, but it does kind of put it in a little bit of, it puts it in a little different perspective. Carrie says it is a little weird. You feel a little snobbish somehow. Yeah. And again, the Pleasure Trap book that I bring up, they talk about that a little bit, and it's not, I don't think that it's that you are being snobbish. It's that you are projecting how people are thinking about when you talk about your diet. You're more concerned about their opinion of the diet than what their actual opinion is, I suppose. And is, at least for me, that's, I think, where the snobbish, like, I had a conversation with a friend a while back where I was kind of pushing my diet or talking about my diet, and they were way more receptive than I expected. Or the family that visited us, we were talking, and I was kind of trying to back away from the conversation because I didn't want to come off as overbearing or, like you said, snobbish. And they encouraged me to continue talking to them about what, my opinions on things. So I think that it is, um, you know, you feel that people might think you're snobbish. And I think that there's also a weird connection, and you see it a lot through, YouTube videos and stuff, between whole food, plant-based, and veganism. And they are similar, but they're not the same. And I feel like vegans have a perception of them that uh, probably isn't justified, in society, but it's just the perception that people have of them. And when you say, I don't eat meat, then people are going to give you that same kind of, oh, you must be vegan then. You don't show them your leather wallet or the leather seats in your car. Uh, they don't see that when you say that you are eating whole food, plant based. Uh, the environmental benefits from not having that kind of, uh, animal, raising going on might, that's a whole different argument. But the, yeah, just the doing it for, I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought there. Uh, but yeah, it's something where I am going to continue eating this way, and I have to learn to just, like I said, be unapologetic about uh, my beliefs with the diet now because of where I am now versus where I was 5 months ago. And where I sit mentally, and just the thoughts I have, like, even just driving home yesterday and being in my head, I was much more engaged, or I was having deeper thoughts, I feel, or I was feeling more emotion with things. And previously, maybe you don't get into that kind of deep of a thought because you're spending time eating, or because of what, the foods that I did eat, what they would do to me, what they would do to you physically, versus the foods that I eat now. And I didn't ask, but if anybody has any non-scale victories, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories, or any questions about uh, the diet or anything like that. I'd love to hear them. As far as for me, what I would say my non-scale victory for today, or since yesterday, is my walking. I have been trying to get the steps in, and I know I said it yesterday in the middle of the stream that I was going to update my Garmin, and I don't know that I could get it up. I would be able to get it up to read it, but I can look at the number of steps because I have uh, that listed. But I've been hitting close to 10,000 steps a day for the past week, or almost 2 weeks, which has been a huge improvement over everything prior to that. For the first month that I was recording here, I probably didn't get over 4,500 steps in a day, and I never really pushed it to get steps. With It was just kind of recording and seeing what it would do. And now that I've lost the weight, I feel much better going out and walking, and so I've been hitting about 10,000 steps a day. The app on my phone actually kind of gives a goal that seems to be just slightly above the average of what you've done kind of for the last few days, and the target goal is now over 10,000 a day, whereas 2 months ago the target goal might have been 45 or 5,200 steps. So my overall activity is going up, but the non-scale victory in it is that one of the things that started happening is I started having some pain in my ankle. There is some muscle soreness in my like shins, or the muscles on my shins, and I attribute that just to me using those muscles that I've kind of not had to use for the last 8 years, and or I haven't been using the same way. Like I said, I doubled the number of steps that I was doing, and that was um, so that would cause those muscles to get sore, which is fine. But then also there's just some joint pain in my ankle. It's nothing that uh, is real painful, but it's like when I get up in the morning, it's a little sore. And so what my non-scale victory would have to be is that even with that kind of soreness, I was trying to talk myself out of doing the walk, and I still got up and I still went out and I still did the walk. And I didn't notice any pain during the walk. It's not like it's not like it's getting any more painful as I walk. It's just, like I said, I think it's just my bones and joints and ligaments in my ankles just trying to adjust to this different lifestyle that I've started to have. And so that would be a big non-scale victory for me. I also, and I don't know if I talked about it, but I feel more confident when I'm talking to people, just in public, uh, or in general, face to face. I feel more confident. I don't feel like the first thought that they're gonna have is, "Wow, that's a really big guy." I mean, it probably is still the first thought that they have, but it's not. It doesn't weigh on me like that awful pun that I accidentally made. It doesn't affect me like it did in the past. So that would be another non-scale victory. I was talking to Carrie last night. She's finished her book, so I'm gonna start the Gregor book, How Not to Die. The book itself is pretty long. The overall length of it, I can look on Audible. I believe it's like 16 hours or so. Um, oh, yeah. I don't know how long it is total. But yeah, so I'm gonna start How Not to Die here pretty quick, and then this updated the step count. I can kind of go back to that real quick. I don't think I'll be able to. Um, Let me try to do this real quick. It'll just take me a second to get this up, and then get this going here. Oh, everything's upside down. Why is it all upside down? Well, if it's gonna be upside down, I'm gonna just not mess with it then, because that's gonna screw up me weighing in tomorrow. Carrie says she's taking suggestions as what she should read or listen to next. Well, if you hadn't finished this, I was going to read another one of Gregor's books probably. So, How Not to Diet would be a book to read. Another thing I saw on Netflix, there's a new movie called Seaspiracy. I think it's obviously a sequel or in the same line of the Cowspiracy movie, but it's in the sea. I'm gonna try to check that out over the next week and see what that says. Because one of the big things that it's not necessarily been eye opening, because I think that it's been there, but when I look at the way uh, our food is treated before we get it, it kind of makes me feel less. I feel more justified in kind of switching to a whole food plant based diet, because it just seems like a cleaner environment to get my food from, and a less. I mean, it's still tampered with. There's no, the oranges that we get and the bananas and everything aren't. They've had. They're not like they were 1,000 years ago, but some of that stuff, seeing watching a movie like that, I think would help strengthen my resolve, I suppose, in my choice as well. But yeah, so I'm gonna get started probably on that book tonight if I think about it on my way in the car, because I don't think I've listened to it at all. Oh, I gotta stop that thing from doing that. Uh, but yeah, so I don't have a whole lot more today other than that, unless anybody has any questions. But I'm really excited for 150. Uh, it's been a long time since I've stuck to something for 5 months, and so to see it, and really this last month was really not even a great month for me weight loss wise. I mean, I'll see, tomorrow will be kind of the official end of this month, and then it'll be weigh in Wednesday, so I'll weigh in and have my official weight. But if I finish, even if I were to lose 2 pounds, which I don't know that will happen, but um, I'd still only lost less than 10 pounds in the entire last month. Uh, and so that's kind of been something that I also have to uh, kind of be happy with, though. It's like I said, it's 8 pounds, or well, right now it's 5 pounds down in the last month, but it's not 5 pounds up. It's not any weight up. Patrick has a question here. What's my recommendation for a first step diet change or exercise? 100% I'm going to recommend diet change. The exercise is not bad, but I've been working on my diet and figuring that out for 4.5 months before I even started doing what I would say my first intentional uh, activity, and that's just been walking for a half hour in the morning and a half hour at night. The Of course that's going to do that. The As far as diet, I think that it's everybody's got to kind of do what they're going to be happy to do. It's just a matter of doing something. I talk a lot in my older videos about just putting a window on your diet. Just saying, okay, I'm only going to eat from these hours to these hours. And then start focusing on what you're eating between those hours. Um, the and it's you got to get rid of temptations. That's a huge thing. um but for me, uh I did a pretty extreme way. I mean, I fasted for 42 days, and so I water fasted for 42 days. So any addictions that I had to sugars and salts and things like that, I sped up the process of breaking those addictions. I still don't um you know, I'm still not free of the addictions or the thoughts. I talked about it yesterday, seeing a bag of potato chips and being alone in a room with them. While I never had a serious thought about eating them, it was still a thought I had, and so, and that's the thing with eliminating temptation, is that even if you think you have the willpower to avoid it, and you do end up avoiding it, you still had to have those arguments, and so that's a big thing. Um, and then for me, accountability, telling people the number of times that I started a diet in my head, and then that morning I was like, all right, I'm going to be on diet. I'm going to do it. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be keto, and I'm going to get it done, or I'm going to do whatever. And then driving into work, and 20 minutes later, uh, you're like, well, you know what? Maybe I'll do this now because I do have that big thing kind of I have to get ready for, and so then I'll worry about it tonight or after. Maybe we'll just do it tomorrow. And so then you talk yourself out of it, and you go and you break your diet, and you've never told anybody. Nobody ever knew that was even a thought in your head. Uh, and So kind of facing it, and that was with my wife. I would Many times I sat there and contemplating, just vocalizing to her that maybe I should do something, like. And then any time I would have said I want to do it, she'd have jumped up. I mean, we're doing it right now. Like she said, she went cold turkey. It wasn't terrible, but the key is going all in, and no cheats. Yeah. I mean, accidents happen, and you can have uh, the for our diet. Our diet's super extreme, so we eat whole food, plant based, and then we do not add any salt, oil, or sugar to anything that we make, or we don't allow it in our foods. But eating that way is nearly impossible while traveling. And not that we're traveling a ton right now, but sometimes we're out and we are forced to eat out. And so for our diet, the most extreme kind of cheat that we have in that way, like that I guess I'm trying to get across, is that if we go and we get a plain baked potato from a restaurant, there's a good chance that that restaurant puts salt, like they had a whole tray of baked potatoes, they salt all of them, and then they put the tray in the oven and cook them all. And so then there is salt on the outside of the potatoes, and you know that would be kind of the most cheat that we would ever. And I don't generally, if that happens, I don't eat the outside of the potato. Um, but yeah, like having cheat days, having um, cheat meals, like they have to be super rare. Like Gordon Ramsay's cooking dinner for you tonight, and so you don't want to tell him no. Like that's kind of outside of that. Like I said earlier in this, it's just got to be your. That's the way you eat, unapologetically. It's. And I'm sorry that I showed up to this birthday and there's nothing like. And this is another reference to the Pleasure Trap book, and they talk about it, is that social situations are really the toughest way to toughest areas to stay on diet, especially when you have pressures from other people. But you can't let somebody pressure you by like if they notice that you're not eating, and then they start, well, you're gonna get, you can't do that, you're gonna like, and you just have to be like, if if you were allergic to peanut butter, they wouldn't be pushing it on you. And so, um, Carrie says, "Thank goodness for a veggie platter." Yes, there's lots of times you can get a veggie platter. Broccoli usually comes steamed without salt on it, and there's options that you can get. Larry McClock says, "What kind of things do your wife and you do for dates instead of going out to eat?" Well, we have 4 kids, so we don't do a lot of dates. A lot of we have 4 kids under 10, and so a lot of our free time is spent with them. Uh, but hikes, but not hikes, but parks, walks, things like that would be more. It's been tough with COVID. I mean, everybody's been locked up. I mean, we're just now getting into spring where it's getting nice to get out. Uh, we both really like going to movies. That's kind of something that the last movie we went to, uh, I was on diet the last movie we went to, and that's really weird for me because movie theaters have always had kind of my triggers for addiction. Like uh, for years, I chewed tobacco from a very from middle high school up until my 30s, and uh, I would always like go to the movies, and I used to go to the movies a lot with my friends when I was in high school or college. And you go to the movies, you get a soda, and you get a water cup that would end up being a spit cup, and then you also buy the popcorn. You get extra butter on it. You dump salt on it. So there's some triggers at a movie theater. But the last time we went, we got through it, and yeah, and so and we do eat out, and I've what Carrie's saying is we've gone out. It's just salads or baked potatoes, a side of steamed broccoli. In fact, we went on a double date with some of my friends the other day. It would have been, I guess, the other day, a couple weeks ago, and we checked out the restaurant. We looked at their menu. It looked like they were going to have some options that worked for us, and then we actually brought our own salad dressing. That would be kind of the one thing that we did. And then it ended up the restaurant. Everything's got limited menus now, so they didn't really have a mixed vegetables, and mixed vegetables are usually have salt on them, but they did have asparagus, which was really good, and we were able to get asparagus. Just told them we didn't want any salt on it, and try to avoid cooking it with the oil. Obviously, when you go out, you're gonna have a little bit of contamination with that stuff, like I said. Um, and then uh, just got like a house salad, which is cheap, and I almost ordered 2 actually, because that's one of the things that I've gotten from other things. What they call a salad at a restaurant is good or whatever, but I eat much larger salads than I've ever had a restaurant ever give me just for dinner now. I take, or Carrie will take a large popcorn bowl, fill it with spinach and kale and all the vegetables and everything, and then cut it up with this little pizza cutter looking thing she has, and we split that. And so that is, like I said, probably 2 times bigger than any salad I've ever gotten at a restaurant. And so but anyways, uh we just do that. And I think I've heard one of the doctors from the books that that a lot of times you just order the sides, because that's where kind of the better, and it's cheap. I mean, we literally went out to eat, and the 2 of us each got 3 sides that I think that they charged $5 a piece. It was the salad, the baked potato, and the asparagus, and we paid $5 for each of those, and we both had water. So for the both of us, it was $30 for our total dinner. It would have easily been, especially at that restaurant that we were eating at, we would have gotten an appetizer for sure, and then both entrees, and then sodas to drink. It would have easily been $60 for us. Yeah, it would have been at least double, if not more. Um, And then yeah, so yeah, the other thing Carrie said is the bigger cities do have restaurants that work for us for our diet. Like we were visiting up in Wisconsin, and there was a restaurant that there was like a chain of them in the Madison area where there's like five of them. So it is becoming our diet, type is becoming more popular, um, or it's kind of gaining traction overall. Um, and so yeah, that kind of you know what we do, and we're gonna start with the weather and things opening up. We're in our we live in a real small town, and they just added a new park that I've not been to yet, but I'm excited to kind of check that out. There's lots of hiking that we can do around as well. The walking really, and I started talking of, I mentioned that we have kids. uh I've really noticed my mobility is much better, and just kind of my uh, nimbleness is not the right word, but my ability to, I can't think of the word, but my ability to move around and kind of be light on my feet is better. Larry says, "Oh, that's awesome. My wife and I went to Forge near the Capitol on our honeymoon years and years ago." Okay. Um, and That's awesome. Yeah, and we went to the or it was the Forge, right? Forge Cafe. Uh yeah, that was good. That was nice to get meals there, and that was also and that it's cool to see. Yeah, I think because it might have been some ingredient ideas for different things, when you see those what other people are doing. Um but yeah, that's kind of um, you know, what I got going on right now. I'm excited to be at the end of the month. Tomorrow's weigh-in Wednesday. So if anybody wants to share their weight loss, or their weigh-in or their weight tomorrow, you don't have to say how much you weigh. Just say you gained a pound, you lost a pound, you stayed the same, you kicked ass, or you lost 10 pounds, whatever it is. Um, and then if you haven't already, make sure that you uh, subscribe to my YouTube channel here. Also, turn on the notifications so you get alerted when I go live. I generally go live at 4 p.m. on weekdays, Monday through Friday. Obviously, things get in the way, so I don't do it every day. But weigh in Wednesday tomorrow. I have an Instagram at Fasting. That's FAHSTING. And then I also have a Discord that we've been trying to get going, and it's kind of nice. The link to the Discord is down in the description below. If uh, uh, if you get a chance to go in there and check out, join the Discord. People can ask questions there if you need help outside of when I'm on here, or if you have questions that you don't feel comfortable asking on here. You can check that out. Also, Carrie does a really good job sharing like the recipes and the foods that she makes us to eat, that we have for dinners and things like that. Anthony is saying here that he gained 6 to 7 pounds. That's not good, Anthony. I don't know if you're in the Discord or not. I guess I haven't paid attention, but maybe let us know what you got going on, and we can see what we can do to help out there. Um, but you just gotta get on track and try to put some days together. It's really nice for me to be able to say I've put 150 days together now. That's been long time since I've done anything, stuck to anything for 150 days, I suppose, outside of, yeah. So get back on it, Anthony. And we'll get it going. Like I said, hit the Discord up. Maybe we can help you out. So, let us know what your struggles are. But yeah, I got to get going here today, guys. You guys all have a great evening. We will be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. And I'm looking forward to hopefully what's Carrie got here. So Carrie says she would always avoid the scale when you knew you gained, Anthony. but getting on the scale and seeing where you are gives you your new starting point, and you can watch the numbers go down from there. Yeah, absolutely. So, so yeah, thanks for everybody checking the stream out today. I appreciate it. Patrick and Anthony and everybody else. Carrie, obviously. Jennifer was here earlier, I know. You guys all have a great evening. Stick to your diets. If you need, support, let us know. And I can't wait to see you guys again tomorrow. All right, everybody have a great night.